Be me, 27 years old, junior concept architect at a top-tier firm in NYC. Got the job because my dad buys art from the senior partner. Barely scraped through architecture school. Spent 5 years gluing balsa wood sticks together and calling it deconstructivism. Failed statics and strength of materials twice. Paid a nerd to do my final structural projects. Professor told me I had no grasp of physical reality. Told him reality is a construct. He failed me. I complained to the dean about stifling creativity. Dad made a donation to the new library wing. Graduated with honors. Lol. Fast forward to now. Life is good. I wear exclusively black turtlenecks and expensive Japanese denim. Carry a Moleskine notebook I never write in. Sit in an open-plan office surrounded by glass and concrete. My job is essentially vibes. Actual architects use Revit and CAD. They stare at screens all day, worrying about load paths and HVAC ducts. I sketch swoopy lines on an iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil. Call it organic ideation. Partners love me. I speak the language of bullshit fluently. Spatial dynamism, interconnected flow, human-centric narrative. Clients eat it up. They don't want to hear about sewage pipes. They want to hear how the building will elevate their spirit. I am the golden boy of the concept team. Meanwhile, the technical team hates my guts. Basement dwellers, basically. Guys named Kevin and Brian who wear polo shirts from 2014. They have calculators on their desks. Actual physical calculators. They drink bitter office coffee. I order oat milk matchas from the cafe downstairs on the company card. They always look stressed. I always look like I'm pondering the duality of man. First week on the job. We're designing a luxury eco-resort in Tulum. I draw a giant glass sphere floating above the jungle canopy. Zero supports visible. Just pure anti-gravity magic. Present it to the team. Silence in the room. Head of engineering, guy named Marcus, raises his hand. Marcus looks like he hasn't slept since the Bush administration. How is it supported? He asks. I scoff. It's a concept, Marcus. We use high-tensile carbon fiber cables. It's about the feeling of weightlessness. Marcus rubs his temples. Carbon fiber stretches. Wind shear will turn that sphere into a maraca. People will vomit. I roll my eyes. You engineers are so binary. Solve it. That's your job. Partner nods at me. I like the ambition. Good work. Marcus looks like he wants to strangle me with a T-square. I walk out feeling like a god. Post a selfie with the sketch on Instagram. Caption, defying gravity. Hashtag visionary, hashtag architecture life. 200 likes in 10 minutes. Life is easy mode. Months pass. I keep designing impossible shapes. Cantilevers that extend 50 feet with no backspan. Roofs made entirely of recycled paper. It rains in Seattle, who cares? Underground lobbies with no fire exits because doors disrupt the energy. The technical team works overtime trying to make my fever dreams legal. I leave at 4 p.m. to go to gallery openings. They stay until midnight running simulations. I tell my friends, the industry is tough, but I'm carrying the creative weight. Deep down, I know I can't calculate the area of a triangle. But confidence is key. Then comes the project. The Apex Tower. Client is a tech billionaire from Dubai. Wants a legacy piece in downtown Chicago. Something that screams, I am better than you. Firm is desperate to land this. Partner calls me in. We need something iconic, something that breaks the skyline. I nod solemnly. Say no more. Go to my desk. Put on noise-canceling headphones. Listen to ambient whale sounds. Draw a spiral. Then another spiral. It looks like a DNA strand made of chrome and arrogance. It twists 90 degrees as it goes up. Top 10 floors are wider than the base. Physically, it's a nightmare. Aesthetically, it's a masterpiece. Meeting with the internal team. I unveil the helix of tomorrow. Marcus actually laughs. Not a happy laugh. A broken, hysterical laugh. "It will tip over," he says. "The wind load on the upper cantilever will snap the core." I smirk. "Use a tuned mass damper. Look at Taipei 101. I read about dampers on Wikipedia once. Marcus slams his hand on the table. "A damper won't fix basic center of gravity issues. You're putting a pyramid upside down in the Windy City." I turn to the partner. Marcus is thinking about limitations. The client is a disruptor. He wants the impossible. Partner looks at the sketch. Dollar signs in his eyes. "Work it out, Marcus. We pitched this on Friday." Marcus looks at me with pure hatred. "You're going to get us sued." I wink. "I'm going to get us famous." Friday comes. Client flies in. Guy wears a suit that costs more than my student loans. I'm wearing my best turtleneck. I stand up to present. Don't use a single number. Talk about vertical integration of nature and technology. Talk about spiraling towards the future. Client is mesmerized. He asks, "Is it safe?" I laugh beautifully. Safety is the baseline. We are aiming for transcendence. Marcus is in the corner, pale as a ghost, holding a folder of structural concerns. Client doesn't even look at him. "I love it," client says. "Build it." Champagne has popped. I am the hero. Bonus check hits my account. I buy a vintage Porsche. Can't drive stick, but it looks good in the driveway. Project moves to detailed design phase. This is where the boring stuff happens. I check out. Spend my days researching materials, scrolling Pinterest. Marcus and his team are pulling 80-hour weeks. I walk by their desks. They have bags under their eyes. Desks covered in red-lined blueprints. I stop by Marcus's desk with my iced latte. "How's the helix coming, buddy? Keeping the dream alive?" Marcus doesn't look up. The steel requirements are triple the budget. We have to thicken the core. "Don't ruin the silhouette," I warn him. "The slimness is the point." "Physics doesn't care about your silhouette," he snaps. "Make it work," I say, walking away. "That's why we pay you." I feel powerful. I am the conductor. They are just the instruments. Summer rolls around. Client wants a progress update. Wants to see the BIM model, building information modeling. Partner tells me to lead the presentation. Sell the vision again. Keep him excited while we figure out the cost overruns. I nod. Easy. Meeting is in the main boardroom. Big screen. I queue up the render. It looks gorgeous. Sunset reflecting off the glass. Client is smiling. Then Marcus walks in. He has a flash drive. He looks different. Calm. Too calm. He sits at the end of the table. I start my spiel. "As you can see, the helix is evolving." Client nods. "Beautiful. And the structural integrity?" "Flawless." I lie. "We're using a new alloy composite." Made that up on the spot. Sounds techie though. Marcus speaks up. "Actually, can we look at the simulation?" I freeze. "Marcus, we're focusing on aesthetics today." Client raises an eyebrow. "I want to see the simulation." Marcus plugs in the drive. Loads up the physics engine. It's a wind tunnel test of my design. The model is on the screen. Wind speed cranks up to Chicago winter standards. The building starts to sway. Not a little. A lot. Red warning lights flash on the screen. The top third of the tower begins to oscillate. Glass panels start popping off in the simulation. Then, the core snaps. The entire top section shears off and plummets into the virtual street below. Total catastrophic failure. Room is dead silent. Client's face goes purple. Partner looks like he's having a stroke. I try to save it. That's obviously a worst-case scenario, a stress test. Marcus looks at me. Dead in the eye. "That is a 30 miles per hour gust, average Tuesday in Chicago." He clicks next slide. "Here is the cost to make it actually stand up. Number is $400 million over budget. It requires external bracing, Marcus explains, which ruins the clean lines our concept architect insisted on. He puts up a render of the fixed version. It looks like my beautiful spiral is covered in ugly metal scaffolding. It looks like a cell phone tower. Client stands up. "You sold me a fantasy." He points at me. "You said you were covered. You said transcendence." I stammer. I provided the vision. The engineering team was supposed to." Client throws his pen on the table. "I'm pulling the contract, and I'm telling every developer in the city you guys are frauds." He walks out. Partner turns to me. I have never seen a vein throb like that on a human forehead. My office, now. I try to channel my inner girl boss. "Listen, Marcus sabotaged me. He used faulty data." Marcus starts packing up his laptop. "I used gravity. It's pretty consistent." In the partner's office. I get destroyed. "You cost us a $100 million contract. You humiliated the firm. You don't know the first thing about building science." I try to argue. "But the vibes were right. The market disrupts." "Get out," he whispers. "You're fired, and don't expect a reference." I pack my box. Moleskine notebook, still empty. Apple pencil. Succulent plant. Walk past the engineering pit. They don't even look at me. They're already working on a new project. A boxy, boring, structurally sound hospital. Marcus takes a sip of his coffee. He looks happy. I take the elevator down alone. Check my phone. Group chat with my art school friends. "Guys, toxic workplace energy. They couldn't handle my vision." They reply with heart emojis, and "Their loss, King. You're too avant-garde for corporate America." I believe them. Obviously, the world just isn't ready for me. Dad cuts me off 2 weeks later. Says, "Time to grow up. Can't pay rent on my loft. Sell the Porsche. Have to move to a smaller apartment in Queens. Start applying for jobs. Nobody wants a concept architect with 2 years experience and a reputation for collapsing buildings. Get an interview at a small firm in Jersey. Show them my portfolio." Old guy looks at the Helix Tower. "Wait, you're the guy who designed the Chicago tuning fork?" Word spreads fast. They laugh me out of the room. Panic setting in. Funds running low. Can't afford oat milk anymore. Drinking instant coffee. It tastes like despair. Finally, get a hit on LinkedIn. Design consultant needed. It's for a startup. Show up to interview. It's a company that makes high-end cat furniture. Guy asks, "Can you design a scratching post that looks like a brutalist monument?" My soul dies a little. "Yes," I say. "I can bring a narrative flow to the scratching experience." He hires me. $45,000 a year. Sit in a windowless room designing concrete blocks for tabbies. Sometimes I see Marcus on LinkedIn. He got promoted to partner. Just completed the biggest bridge in the state. It's ugly, but it stands up. I sketch a swoopy cat bed on a napkin. Post it on Instagram. Caption, "Small scale, big impact. #DesignLife." 12 likes. 1 comment from a bot. "Great content! DM for promo." I sip my lukewarm instant coffee. Realize I was never a genius. I was just a tourist in a world of professionals. But hey, at least the cat tower won't kill anyone when it falls over. Fast forward 6 months. Still at the cat furniture company. CEO is a 22-year-old dropout who got lucky with crypto. He thinks he's Steve Jobs. I think I'm Frank Lloyd Wright. It's a match made in hell. He calls me into his office, a beanbag chair in the hallway. "We need to pivot," he says. "Cat furniture is dead. We're doing pet architecture." I nod. Disruptive. "I want you to design a doghouse," he says, "but not a house, a habitat, modular, sustainable, AI-integrated." I feel a spark of the old arrogance. "I see it," I say. "A tessellated geometric dome, self-cleaning." "Exactly," he screams. "Make it pop." I go to work. This is my redemption arc. I design the Canine Pod. It's a hexagon made of reclaimed bamboo and smart glass. Looks like a spaceship crash-landed in a backyard. I don't consult any engineers because we don't have any. Just me and the crypto kid. We launch on Kickstarter. Video features me wearing a turtleneck from Goodwill now. I talk about interspecies ergonomics. We raise $500,000 in a week. Hype is real. I'm back, baby. We find a manufacturer in China to build them cheap. I send them my sketches. They send back questions like, where are the joints and how does the roof stay on? I reply, figure it out, keep the aesthetic. Shipment arrives 3 months later. 5,000 units. We ship them out to backers. I'm browsing Zillow for lofts again, thinking about buying a sob. Then the emails start. Subject, my dog is trapped. Subject, it collapsed on my pug. Subject, lawsuit. Turns out, reclaimed bamboo glue doesn't hold up in rain. The domes are imploding. Dogs are getting stuck in the, quote, geometric tessellations. One golden retriever had to be cut out by the fire department. Video goes viral on TikTok. Rich people doghouse trap. 20 million views. CEO calls me. You ruined us. Me? I yell. You wanted the vibe. I gave you the vibe. The vibe is trapping animals, he screams. Kickstarter freezes the funds. Refunds issued. Company dissolves overnight. I am unemployed again. And now I'm known as the guy who traps dogs. Sitting on a park bench. Eating a bagel. Watch a construction crew across the street. They're pouring concrete. Checking levels. Measuring twice. Guy in a hard hat yells at another guy for being an inch off. I used to laugh at them. Now I realize. The world is heavy. Gravity doesn't care about my turtleneck. It doesn't care about my narrative. It just pulls things down. Phone buzzes. It's my mom. Honey, your cousin needs help with his wedding. He needs someone to design the centerpieces. Something artistic. I sigh. Look at the unfinished skyscraper in the distance. Look at the bagel. Okay, I say, but tell him I have a specific vision. Some people never learn. Be me.